Imagine this: you're standing at the edge of a cliff, the wind howling around you, the path ahead, uncertain everyone else has turned back. But you take the step forward alone because sometimes the most powerful moments in life don't come from the crowd cheering you on, they come from the silence. Doing it by yourself, this isn't about isolation or rejecting help. It's about discovering what you're truly made of. When no one else is there to hold your hand, it's about the grit, the resilience, and the unshakable belief that you can rise, even when you're the only one lifting yourself up. So, it means to do it alone. It means embracing the challenges, the doubts, and the fears, and turning them into fuel for your journey. It means proving to yourself that you don't need anyone else's permission to succeed, ready to find out how far you can go.
Let's dive in.
The path to success isn't always a crowded highway full of distractions and noise, in fact. Often the great success comes from walking a path less traveled one. Where you decide to go, it alone, not because you're better than anyone else, but because you understand that your destiny is yours and yours. Alone to shape, there's a difference between being independent and being isolated. Being independent means having the confidence to trust your own judgment, to rely on your abilities, and to make decisions based on what's best for you, not what's easiest or most convenient for others. When you choose, do it alone, you might encounter moments of doubt, loneliness, and struggle. But in those moments, you must remember that growth happens in solitude. The greatest leaders, the trailblazers, the ones who carve out their own path, they all had to step away from the crowd. They had to make decisions that others wouldn't or couldn't. They had to say no when others said yes, and yes when others said no. In the end, your greatest strength is your ability to depend on yourself. If you wait for others to help you, you'll never get ahead. If you wait for the perfect circumstances, the right people, or
Yes, climbing.
you'll be waiting forever. The best time to start is now. And sometimes the only way to truly move forward is to do it alone. Success isn't a team sport. It's a solo. Why no one cares and why that's a good thing journey where the only competitor is yourself. So are you willing to do what it takes to wet mod? Anabe, push beyond the doubt, the fear, and the uncertainty. Are you willing to stand alone when necessary? Remember, if you want to achieve greatness, there will be times you must walk alone. But those are the moments that will define you. Those are the moments that will make you stronger, wiser, and more capable of reaching your highest potential. So when the going gets tough, keep moving. Do it alone. Don't wait for others to make it happen for you. You are the one who must take the initiative and take action by trusting your own judgment and relying on your talents. You unlock the power to build your own. You unlock the power to build your own destiny. Don't depend on others for inspiration or affirmation. Your success comes from within, from your own commitment. It's in those quiet, lonely moments that you discover what you're truly made of. Solitude is where your ideas are born. Following the crowd is easy. Leading yourself is hard if you want. To achieve greatness, you must be willing to walk your own path. Success requires tough decisions. You will need to say no to distractions, even while others are saying yes. Waiting for the right people or conditions is a trap. You create your opportunities by taking action, no matter. No matter the scenario, don't be afraid to fail. Learn from your mistakes and keep going ahead. The most successful individuals are those that keep going despite failures. Every obstacle you face alone will strengthen you. Don't run from problems. Utilize them to develop your resilience if you desire success. Take ownership. Your future is formed by what you do now, not tomorrow. Your success is totally your responsibility. It's not up to anybody else to make it happen for you, and it's certainly not up to fate. You can't blame your circumstances, the economy, or the people around you. It starts and ends with you. The sooner you accept. It ends with you the sooner you accept that. The sooner you'll realize the incredible power you have to shape your life. You see, the world doesn't owe you anything. Opportunities aren't just going to fall into your lap because you think you deserve them. Success is achieved, and it's won by taking responsibility for your choices, your actions. Your outcomes if things aren't turning out the way you want. Don't point the finger at anyone else. Look at the mirror, since that's the only person who genuinely has the power to alter the situation. It's simple to sit back and make excuses, blame a bad job, bad luck, or bad timing. But bad luck or bad timing, but excuses don't lead to results. You have to take ownership of your life. That means you control your time, your energy, and your mindset. If you want to be successful, it's up to you to develop the habits, the discipline, and the persistence to reach your goals. Taking responsibility doesn't mean taking the weight of the world on your shoulders. It means understanding that every action you take, every choice you make lead you either closer to your dreams or further away from them. If you're serious about succeeding, you must make the decision to take full ownership of your path and your progress. And that begins acknowledgement that your success and your failure are both in your hands. When you accept that success is your responsibility, you stop waiting for the proper conditions, the right person, or the proper occasion. You start acting now. With what you have, you stop letting life happen to you. And stop letting life happen to you and start making life happen for you. And that's when everything begins to change. Independence fuels progress because it places you in control of your own destiny. When you rely on yourself, you unlock a power that no one can take away. Too many people make the mistake of waiting for permission, waiting for others to tell them it's time to move forward, but that kind of waiting will keep you stuck in place. To move forward, you must rely on your own judgment, your own decisions, and your own ability to act. You see, when you depend on others, you hand over control, you place your future in someone else's hands. And that's never a good position to be in. If you wait for the approval of others or wait for things to be perfect, you'll never make any progress. The truth is, the world doesn't care about your excuses or your waiting game. The world rewards action, decisiveness, and the power of doing things alone. Courage to go forward on your own term. Independence doesn't mean isolation or doing everything alone. It means making decisions for yourself, setting your own course, and staying true to your own vision. It's about trusting your instinct and following your passion, even when no one else believes in it. When you learn to trust yourself, you stop looking for validation from others. Moreover, independence empowers you to take full responsibility for your successes and failures. When you're independent, you understand that the outcome is a reflection of your efforts, not the circumstances or the people around you. That kind of clarity is what propels you forward. The minute you stop relying on others is the moment you begin to move ahead. Your progress becomes unstoppable because you are no longer waiting for someone else's approval or permission. You are free to follow your own path. Make your own decision and correct course when necessary. In the end, the most successful people are those who make the decision to trust their own judgment, take responsibility for their action, and never wait for someone else to give them the green light. They don't need anyone else to fuel their progress. They are driven by their own independence and their ability to make things happen for themselves. When you embrace that kind of independence, you free yourself to reach levels of success that you never thought possible. Learn to be self-reliant, cause no one is coming to save you, and no one is going to save. The sooner you recognize this, the sooner you'll start taking control of your life. Self-reliance isn't just about doing things on your own. It's about building the confidence to trust yourself, your talents, and your judgment. It's about not waiting for someone to tell you what to do, but instead taking the effort to figure it out yourself. When you become self-reliant, you cease depending on others for motivation, answers, or validation. You recognize that all the resources you need are already within you. The best way to move on is to trust that you can find solutions face challenges and conquer obstacles without relying on others to bail you out. In fact, relying on people too much only weakens your determination. It teaches you to wait for things to happen instead of making things happen yourself. Being self-reliant means assuming full responsibility for your actions and decisions. If you fail, it's on you to learn from that failure. Pick yourself up and start going. If you achieve, you also take full responsibility of that success, knowing it's the product of your hard work and drive. The fact is, the only person who has the power to shape your destiny, you. So why would you ever give that authority to someone else? Self-reliance also involves gaining the skills and discipline to be productive without needing continual supervision or direction. Whether it's in your career, your personal life, or your health, being self-reliant means you don't wait for others to tell you what's essential. You make the decision to prioritize what matters most and take action. It's the ability to look at an issue, appraise it, and find out a solution to manage it without waiting for permission or external approval. There may be times when you will face issues alone, when the journey looks tough and it feels like no one else understands. But in those moments, you'll learn that self-reliance is your greatest strength. It's in these moments that you truly grow, because you realize that you don't need anyone to tell you what you're capable. The ability to rely on yourself gives you the confidence to push forward, even when the world seems uncertain. Ultimately, self-reliance is about taking full ownership of your life. Knowing that the key to success lies in your own hands, you have the power to create the life you want, but only if you're willing to take responsibility for your actions and trust yourself to do what it takes. To make it happen, the moment you make that decision, you'll see just how much you're capable of. Embrace solitude for growth. Because it's in those quiet, often uncomfortable moments alone that you discover who you really are and what you're truly capable of. Solitude isn't about being lonely. It's about giving yourself the space to think, reflect, and grow without distractions. The world is full of noise, people, views, and constant activity. Wing-yin development doesn't happen in the noise. It happens in the silence, when you can hear your own thoughts, focus on your goals, and evaluate your progress. Truth is, in the business of life, it's easy to get caught up in what others are doing and lose track of what's important to you. But when you embrace solitude, you have the opportunity to take a step back and really think about your life and your future. You can't build a meaningful life by constantly reacting to the demands of the outside world. You need time alone to listen to your inner voice, to set your own direction, and to make decisions based on what's best for you, not what others think is best. Solitude is also where you'll get the clarity to make better judgments. You're constant surrounded by people and distractions. It's hard to hear your own intuition. But when you have time to be alone, you'll be able to filter through the noise and make clearer, more confident decisions. You'll stop second-guessing yourself and start trusting your judgment. The more time you spend in isolation, the stronger your intuition will get, and the more you'll understand that you don't need others to verify your overcoming loneliness and self-doubt choices. Another reason to embrace solitude is that it gives you the opportunity to grow emotionally and mentally. It's easy to blame others for problems or to look for answers outside of yourself. But when you're alone, you're forced to confront your own thoughts and feelings. You'll discover what your fears and weaknesses lie, and you'll have the space to work through them. Solitude forces you to become self-awareness. And self-awareness is key to personal growth. Furthermore, solitude helps you develop discipline and focus in a world that's full of distraction. It takes effort to stay on track with your goals, but when you're alone, you can block out the noise and put your energy into what matters most. You learn to prioritize your time, to say no to the things that don't align with your vision, and to stay committed to your purpose. Solitude helps you build the mental toughness necessary to stay focused on what's important. Finally, It's in solitude that you realize you don't need to depend on others to feel fulfilled. You stop relying. You stop relying on external validation or approval to feel good about yourself. Instead, you find your worth in your own efforts, your own growth, and your own accomplishments. When you learn to be content with your own company, you become more resilient and independent. You no longer need others to make you feel whole. The end, embracing solitude is one of the most powerful tools for personal growth. It's in those times alone that you discover your real potential, rediscover your purpose, and strengthen your determination. Don't be afraid of being alone, embrace it, because it's in that solitude that you'll find the power to become the person you were always intended to be. Move away from the crowd, since following the masses rarely leads to anything spectacular. The crowd is comfortable. It's predictable. It's full of people who follow the same patterns, think the same way, and take the same actions. But comfort and predictability won't get you where you want to go. If you want something different, something better, you've got to be willing to separate yourself from the herd and chart your own course. You need to conform, that you need to fit in, that you need to follow the rules. But true success is not about blending in, it's about standing out. It's about making decisions that others might not understand, taking risks that others aren't willing to take, and doing things that challenge the status quo. If you always follow the crowd, you'll end up exactly where everyone else is. Trust me, you don't want to end up there. When you step away from the crowd, you give yourself the chance to think for yourself. You stop following someone else's path and start creating your own. The crowd doesn't have your vision, your goals, or your dreams. They have their own. And they might be content living their life, but that's not what you're after. You want something more. You want to be the one who decides where you go, when you go, and how you get there. And to do that, you have to stop relying on the approval or opinions of others. Most people live their lives based on what they've been told is normal or acceptable. They live in a box bound by the expectations of the crowd. But to achieve anything amazing, you must break free of that box. You must be willing to challenge the conventional thinking, question the norms, and pursue a different path. It won't always be easy. In fact, frequently lonely at first, but stepping away from the crowd allows you the opportunity to think, create, and pursue your own vision without the constant noise and pressure from others. Walking away from the crowd is also an act of courage. It's easy to do what everyone else is doing. It's safe. It's harder to make bold decisions and go in a direction that others might not understand. But courage is what separates the people who make history from the ones who follow it. When you step away from the crowd, you put yourself in a position to create something unique. Your mark on it, something that reflects your true potential. Don't be afraid to step away from the crowd when the time comes. It's not about being rebellious for the sake of it. It's about being true to yourself. It's about understanding that in order to grow, to reach your full potential, and to achieve what others might deem impossible, you got to be willing to stand apart. You got to be willing to make the tough calls, to walk the path less traveled, and to go against the grain when required. When you move away, how self-reliance leads to growth from the crowd. You stop being a passive observer in your own life. You stop waiting for someone else to give you permission or lead the way. You become the architect of your future. You take control of your decisions, your mistakes, and your accomplishments. And as you do, you'll learn that it's in moving away from the herd that you find your true power. Unleash your potential for greatness, making hard decisions, because the capacity to make tough calls is what separates those who accomplish greatness from those who stay stuck life. Choosing the easy road, in fact, it's frequently the hardest decisions that lead to the most important progress. The easy option could seem wonderful in the moment, But it's the harder choices that drive you to build strength and to come closer to the life you really desire. Too many people avoid making tough decisions because they're afraid of the consequences, the discomfort, or the But in avoiding hard decisions, you delay your progress. You avoid facing the truth and confronting what needs to change. The truth is, growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens when you step outside your comfort zone and make the decision to move forward, even when you don't. How and you don't have all the answers. Making hard decisions involves selecting what's best for your future, even when it means saying no to short-term pleasures, avoiding distractions, or severing connections with people who no longer serve your aims. It means doing what's essential, not what's easy. Decisions are the ones that often take sacrifice, work, and discipline. But in the long run, they're the ones that pay off the most. Consider the consequences of not making a decision. If you choose to avoid making a tough call, you're choosing to stay where you are, stagnant and stuck. You might convince yourself that you're waiting for the right time, or that circumstances aren't ideal. But the truth is, the right time never comes. Unless you make it, the longer you delay, the more you let fear or uncertainty control your life. Making tough decisions is not about being reckless or impulsive. It's about understanding the bigger picture. You have to be willing to take the risk necessary for progress, knowing that in the end, those risks could lead to tremendous rewards. It's about having the discipline to do what needs to be done, even when it's uncomfortable or unpopular. One of the hardest decisions you'll ever make is the decision to stay committed to your goals, even when everything around you is telling you to give up. But this is where you prove your character. The hard decisions are often the ones that test your resolve and your ability to stay focused on the bigger picture. You might face setbacks, disappointments, or even failures. But if you can make the hard decision to keep going, to stay, you build the resilience and strength to achieve what you set out to do. Don't be afraid to make those tough decisions. Every time you do, you grow stronger and more capable. And as you make these hard decisions, you find that life begins to reward you in ways you never expected. Because at the end of the day, today, the hard decisions are the ones that lead to the kind of success that lasts. They're the ones that build character, develop resilience, and ultimately create the life you've always dreamed of. Control your own destiny. Because if you don't, someone else will. The truth is, your future isn't something that just happens to you. It's something you create every single day with the decisions you make and the actions you take. Life isn't about waiting for the right opportunities to come knocking on your door. It's about taking full responsibility for where you are. And more importantly, are the captain of your ship. And if you don't steer it, someone else will. So many people spend their lives drifting, letting the circumstances, other people, or even society dictate the direction they go in. They wait for permission for things to fall into place. But that's not how success works. Success is intentional. It's about setting a clear course, making a commitment, and taking consistent, focused action. When you control your own destiny, you take full ownership of your life and where it's headed. This means that every decision you make matters. The choices you make today. Tomorrow, whether it's your career, your health, your relationships, or your finances, your destiny is built by the steps you take right now. If you keep waiting for things to change on their own, or for someone else to fix your issues, you'll be waiting forever. The ability to create change resides within. You must take control, not just of your actions, but also of your thoughts and beliefs. Your thinking dictates your reality. Taking control of your destiny means getting serious about your goals and not letting anything stand in your way. It means deciding what you want and then doing whatever it takes to achieve it, regardless of the obstacles or setbacks that come along the way. When you have a clear vision of where you want to go, you stop making excuses. You stop procrastinating, and you start moving forward with purpose. The danger of not controlling your destiny is that you end up living someone else's life, not your own. You end up following the expectations of others, doing what you think you're supposed to do. Instead of what truly aligns with your values and passions, you'll never find true fulfillment or success that way because you're not living on your terms. You're merely existing. When you take control of practical steps to build an independent mindset, your destiny, you stop being a victim of circumstances, you stop blaming others for your troubles, and start looking at every obstacle as an opportunity for growth. You understand that the only limits that exist are the ones you place on yourself. And when you stop limiting yourself, you open the door to endless possibilities. The individuals who achieve greatness are the ones who quit letting life just happen to them. They take action, they make decisions, and they go after what they desire. Someone to tell you what to do. Don't wait for the perfect conditions. Don't wait for the economy to turn around or for people to believe in you. Your destiny is yours to shape, and it starts with a single powerful decision to take control. And once you make that decision, the range of your life and steer it in the direction you want to go. Your future is created by the actions you take today. So don't let another day slip by without taking charge of your destiny. Is waiting for you to claim it. Failure, and if you're not experiencing failure along the way, you're probably not pushing yourself hard enough. It's easy to look at successful people and assume they had it all figured out, that they never face setbacks or challenges. But the reality is, every person who has achieved something meaningful has encountered failure. At some point, the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they respond to it. But failure isn't something to be afraid of, it's something to embrace. It's a sign that you're moving out of your comfort zone, trying new things and taking chances you'll never grow or reach. Potential, if you stay within the safe confines of what you already know. It's through failure that you learn, adapt, and grow stronger when you fail. You gain valuable insights into what doesn't work, which brings you one step closer to figuring out what does. The key is to understand. Failure is not the end of the road. It's simply a part of the process, a lesson, not a life sentence. Every successful person has failed at something, but instead of quitting up, they took the lessons from those failures, applied them, and kept moving forward.
Failure doesn't define you, but how you respond to it does. Onto it does.
It's not about how many times you fall. It's about how many times you get back up and keep going. Too many individuals dread failure to the point that they avoid it altogether. They play it safe, never taking chances, never trying anything new. But by doing this, they also avoid the chance of success. You can't attain greatness by keeping within your comfort zone. You can't build anything meaningful if you're unwilling to take risks, even if that means failing along the way. Every successful person has faced the prospect of failure, but they were willing to take the chance. You'll find that failure teaches you resilience. It shows you what you're made of and helps you develop the mental toughness necessary to face challenges in the future. Every time you fail and get back up, you become stronger, more capable, and more confident. You learn that failure is not something to fear, but something to overcome, and each time you overcome failure, you build the character and discipline that success demands. Don't let the fear of failure hold you back from reaching your potential. Understand that failure. It's a signal that you're on the right track, even if it doesn't feel. Way in the time without failure, you'd have no way to know how far you've gone or how much farther you can go. It's a part of the trip, not something that should stop you in your tracks. If you can shift your perspective and see failure as a teacher rather than a roadblock, you'll find that it becomes one of your greatest allies on the path to success. In the end, failure is not the opposite of success. It's a necessary part of the process. It's the thing that separates those who want success from those who are willing to work for it. If you can learn to accept failure, you'll discover that it's not terror. Something to fear, but something to learn from. And every time you pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep pushing on, you'll be one step closer to attaining the success. Your meant for strength is created in adversity, and that's where genuine growth happens. It's easy to feel. When you'll be one step closer to attaining the success you see, everything is going well, when life is smooth, and all your goals are unfolding perfectly. But it's at the toughest times, when everything feels like it's falling apart, that your actual strength is built. Strength doesn't come from calm. Comfort strength doesn't come from comfort or ease. It comes from the hurt. Psychos challenges you face, the obstacles you overcome, and the decisions you make when life gets tough adversity tests. You pushing you beyond what you thought were your limits in those difficult moments. It's tempting to quit, to take the easier path, or to simply give up. Cheat on to stand firm and fight back, you start building a kind of strength that endures. It's the final thoughts in conclusion challenge that develops you, transforming you into someone who can handle more, achieve more, and grow more. Without adversity, you remain stagnant, comfortable, yet untested, never reaching your full potential. Every obstacle you encounter is a chance to build resilience, improve mental toughness, and grow stronger. The hardships you face aren't roadblocks to success. They're stepping stones. Each time you confront adversity and rise above it, you become more capable, resourceful, and prepared for what's next. It's not the calm, easy moments that build your character. It's the times when you're forced to dig deep, to endure, and to keep moving forward despite the odds. Adversity doesn't just build physical strength. Mentally, it forces you to confront failure, disappointment, and setbacks, problems everyone experiences, no matter how successful they are. The difference between those who thrive and those who don't rests in how they respond to these obstacles. Do you allow failure to defeat you? Or do you use it as fire to come back stronger? Do you let adversity crush you, or do you rise above it with even greater resolve? The option is yours. The stronger you become, the bigger the obstacles you can take on, and the bigger the problems you confront, the more chances you create for yourself. Strength doesn't just overcome difficulty. It empowers you to grab the opportunities that come with it. Life constantly presents new hurdles. Yet as you grow stronger, you learn to see these problems not as barriers, but as chances for growth, opportunities to prove to yourself what you're actually capable of. When you face adversity with a positive mindset, when you embrace it as a tool for progress, your view on life shifts. Challenges are no longer roadblocks, they're lessons. You begin to understand that adversity isn't something to avoid, it's something to welcome every time you face difficulty. And keep pushing forward. You're building a stronger, better version of yourself in the end. Strength isn't about avoiding hardship. It's about rising to the occasion, standing firm in the face of adversity, and becoming better because of it. Every challenge you overcome is a victory, a testament to your resilience, and proof that you can handle whatever comes your way. So don't shy away from the hard times. Embrace them, because it's through adversity that your true strength is forged.